Hey, everybody. Good morning. Happy Thursday, August 15th. Last show of the Plant-Based Morning Show. Short week, 3-day week is what we do around here. And just got back from a little week off. This week's already done. Pretty excited about that. Doug, how about you?
About the week being done?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. I got some exciting stuff. Today is Katie's 40th birthday, so that's a big
Ooh.
deal.
You
My
gonna get her
wife.
40 gifts like I did for my wife? You gonna meet that standard?
No, but I got her a really good one. Can't share it yet
One
because
good
we
one.
haven't given it yet. But
Ooh. Okay.
quite excited about it. I'll share it on Tuesday.
All right. Good. We'll have to. Cannot
But
wait to hear what that is.
we have a fun dinner planned, and Michael, our colleague, CMO of Compliment, is coming to town this evening, so he'll join us for the birthday dinner.
Oh, there you go. Little third wheel action.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Well, I mean, the kids will be there too, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
All right.
got picked up a birthday cake. Yeah, I don't know.
Nice.
It's gonna be a good day.
Good. Glad to hear it. All right. Cool. Well, I made, as promised, Gallo Pinto yesterday. I made it with pinto beans. It's traditionally actually with kidney beans, Doug. The red of the kidney beans is what simulates the look of the rooster. Even though black beans, I think, are maybe often typical in different countries. I don't know. But I just got pinto beans because that's the type of beans my son is willing to eat, and made that. I had a jar of Rancho Gordo, well, a bag. We put it into a jar of Rancho Gordo pinto beans. Made that, and didn't have cilantro, but just did it, and it was good. Are you familiar, Doug, with do you know a lot about Costa Rica?
I lived there for 7 months.
Okay, so you might know about the hot sauce or the sauce that they use that has, I think it's called Lizano.
Mm-hmm.
And it's rich in tamarind flavor. Apparently, that's like essential to a true Gallo Pinto.
Gallo Pinto.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm familiar with it. Can you find it?
Vouch for that?
I think that's true. I wouldn't say that's all the time, but yeah.
Okay, good. Well, apparently some recipes call for Worcestershire as a substitute, and we do have some vegan Worcestershire, but I didn't want to do that, so we just made it without. And then I have a tamarind-rich Indian hot sauce that I used as the sauce, and it actually was quite good. I was very happy with the results. But you can go get Lizano at even at Walmart, it appears. So next time I'm gonna get the real thing.
Now, did you take my recommendation? Do a slice of tomato and some avocado, maybe?
Well, we had avocado next to it, so that was good. But we did not have any tomatoes on hand, and forget.
No weird spongy cheese?
No, didn't have any cotija cheese. Apparently, you like fry a slice of cheese. Is that what you know?
Maybe like pan fry it. Is that like not deep fry it?
That's what it sounded like. Yeah, but I mean, I would think if you fry cheese, it would melt. But I don't know. I just read that.
What's the name of that cheese? Do you know the name of it?
No, I mean cotija is that crumbly Mexican cheese.
Oh yeah, no, this is different. This is like some sort of, it's like kind of spongy. I have no idea what it's called.
Don't know.
And no fried plantain, I guess.
No, none of that. I mean, I was just making stuff with what we had on hand. It was a wung meal, but it worked. It was good. And we ate some beans.
Turriabla cheese.
Okay, never heard of it.
Yeah, it's weird. I've never seen it anywhere other than Costa Rica.
All right, interesting. All right, well, good morning to people who have checked in here. Britters, Kate, Carmen, Garuda Legends, Phyllis Hauser, Daniel P., Brandon Turner. Garuda says he makes his own private sauces. Look at that. Sauce is life.
Private.
I like that. Private stock. Good. Very nice. Yeah, okay, good. Well, anything else, Doug? Any other fun tidbits we should know about?
I'm going to be at Plantstock this weekend. Plant Strong's event.
Was that already a year ago that you went to their dinner thing in Black
No,
Mountain?
they had like a smaller thing. He also here in Black Mountain at Blue Ridge Assembly. But it was like, I don't know, 50 people or something like that, smaller. This is their much bigger event, but back here. Carly from Plant U is going to be there.
Nice.
And then of course Rip and several other special guests. So it should be a fun weekend. I'll be kind of in and out with Michael and Adam. So we'll have a good time.
All right, very good. You're gonna offer a key to the city this time because you forgot last time.
Yeah, I could. I should do that.
Do you
Or
have
maybe I
any
can give
keys?
Carly a key. Carly and Rip can share a key.
Yeah, give them a key.
Uh-huh.
You have a handful of keys you're allowed to give out each year?
Yeah, I got a whole key ring of large keys to the city I can just pull from.
Good. All right. British points out that there's Leadville 100 this weekend.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I don't even know who's running. Who's running? Anybody interesting?
No idea. I don't even know who the runners are these days. The people I know probably are all finished. All right, good. There we go. So let's get to our news then. We got a couple articles. We'll probably just work the ballparks one into the weather report though, because PETA has put out their list of ballparks. We'll get into that in a minute. But here we go. Starting off with a little bit of controversy, Doug, over one of your favorite athlete/celebrities, if we can call him an athlete. I guess we can.
Sure.
Lewis Hamilton, F1 driver, shared an image of himself on a camel in Morocco. That is a no-no for vegans to ride camels. Really, riding any animal at all, I think, is a no-no for vegans. But he did that. He was enjoying much-needed time off, apparently, before headed to the Netherlands, where he'll have no problem getting vegan food when he goes there on August 25th. But anyway, he not only rode a camel, took a picture of himself and then put it up on Instagram. I mean, he had to know this was coming if he's out there as a public vegan.
Yeah, I think so.
You just can't do that. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, we'll talk a bit about whether we think this is okay or not. But he got a bunch of responses. People said, vegans don't ride animals or support animal cruelty. What a shame, Lewis. Someone else, why are you sitting on a camel's back? Vegans don't sit on animals. Very disappointed. Please don't exploit camels. Thought you were vegan. Vegan on top of a camel. Save them. They're not machines, etc. So people are upset, and that's end of story. I don't think he had any response to it that I know of. But I don't know, Doug. I mean, I guess you admire this guy. Is this problematic for you?
No, it's not. No, I mean, I think obviously I don't support any sort of any sort of animal cruelty or animal exploitation like this. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, we all make our own decisions. We're all nobody's like perfect. I guess some people consider themselves perfect vegans, but let's be real, they're not. I mean, the guy rides around, like flies around the world every weekend with giant truckloads or airplane loads of gear. Like it's, and he probably drives on tires that are not vegan. I mean, like, let's be real. He was riding a camel in a culture that rides camels. And so,
yeah, I kind of have the same viewpoint. See, I don't know anything about the nature of camel riding in Morocco. Like, do people still do that? Is that still just a valid means of transportation or whatever? And if it is, then I don't have that big a problem with this. Like, it's just like you said, he's in this culture and that's what they do there. I guess you make the same argument though for eating foods that are non-vegan in a culture where they do that. And I guess even then I have less of a problem with it than I would like, when you're at home. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't feel like this is such a huge deal. I mean, it is, of course, if you're a celebrity though, and you're
right. I mean, he was asking for
this
it.
is a silly thing for you to do, much less post a picture of. But yeah, I don't know. But like if the camel riding industry is just some touristy, totally exploitative thing,
right.
In that case, I would totally stay away from this. If it was like you said, part of the culture and just something that's like an authentic thing that happens there, then I don't know that I would be too upset about it.
What if you're a cowboy, right? And you are herding, I guess the herding cattle. That's not a good example. What if you're working a field, out in the West, something like that, and the best way to get around is on a horse. You love the horse, You treat the horse well, you feed the horse well, but you work with the horse. It's considered work. Is that bad? I don't know the answer to that.
Right. In my opinion, and this is a different opinion than I used to have. In my opinion, no, that is not bad. I think when you've got a natural relationship with an animal, and horses have been, I think, bred for that purpose in many ways, I don't feel like there's a whole lot of harm happening there. I don't know. I don't know much about this stuff. So I don't know. I guess I used to be more of I think is an abolitionist vegan where it was like any type of use of animal like that is just wrong. Period. They have rights. They just don't have voice to voice, their opposition to what's going on, and therefore we should not do anything like that ever. I guess I just don't feel quite so strongly as that now. I feel like if there's something that is a very natural thing that has happened for a very long time, without obvious hatred of the animal of that activity. I don't know. It's like I always get uncomfortable talking about this stuff because I really
right. Yeah, I don't
know much about it. But that's kind of what my gut says.
Yeah, but by posting the picture, he must have known that it was going to cause some controversy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What if your sponsor is doing a big thing and paying you $1 million to go ride a camel wearing Mercedes stuff?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess those are choices you got to make. I mean, because his vegan identity is also could potentially be valuable to the right sponsors, and if you erode that a little bit by doing this, I don't know. It's a trade off.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, moving on. Legal news. Court is in session, Doug. Let me hit the gavel for us. It's actually not really in session here because we don't have any judgment to make. But the Institute for Justice, which is a nonprofit public interest law firm, they've partnered with Upside Foods, who we all know and love as one of the 2 cultivated meat companies whose products are approved for sale in the U.S. They are challenging the Florida law that has banned production, distribution, and sale of cultivated meats. In other words, they are suing Florida, saying that this law, I think, is unconstitutional. Yeah, that the ban is unconstitutional because the new law targets cultivated meat, which is produced outside of Florida. So for whatever reason, I think that's viewed as unconstitutional. I guess, okay, the lawsuit also argues that the state law only seeks to protect local meat producers from competition, undermining the principles of a national common market. So they're saying this is too insular and not in the spirit of that these states are supposed to work together as a country that does commerce together. So yeah, I don't know. That's what they're saying. They said the government has no right to tell people who want to try cultivated meat that they're not allowed to. This law is not about safety. It's about stifling innovation and protecting entrenched interests. And I do agree with that much of that. I think it doesn't appear to me that the law is about safety. It sure seems like it's a lot. He's even said that I think that it's about, well, in many ways, he's talked about the beef producers in Florida, that they would be protected by this. So I don't know. I guess I agree. I hope they win.
Yeah, I do too. Well, we got to follow this. We got to keep. You have to imagine that these laws are not going to hold up forever, right?
Yes, you have to imagine, but I don't know. Yeah. So you don't mind. I mean, in this case, you do mind the government overreaching, saying, "Can't do this. Protect the citizens. Protect things." I thought you were a big government guy.
I am. What?
Well, the government's stepping in here. They're protecting the citizens from this evil cultivated meat, protecting the farmers from this.
No.
No.
No. I mean, we got to be real about what we're protecting here. And
all right, fair enough. All right, last up, little lighter note here. Coca-Cola and Oreo are partnering on not just one product but 2 products. Doug, I love when this kind of thing happens, when they make 2 different types of products. They don't say that they're meant to go together, but Doritos and Pepsi famously did this. I think those are owned by the same company, but they made a special kind of Doritos, and then they made a special Pepsi that was meant to put out the fire in the mouth caused by those Doritos.
That's right.
In this case, they're making the Oreo sandwich cookies that are Coca-Cola flavored. One, I think, let's see, half of the cookie has the classic chocolate Oreo base cake, they call it. But this version also contains Coca-Cola syrup. Okay, so no, that half is in the classic one. So it's already not classic. They're adding Coca-Cola syrup to the Oreo recipe. The other half of the cookie part is a red-colored base cake embossed with Coca-Cola's signature script. And then in the middle of them is a white-colored cream with embedded popping candies that bring a fizz. So they're adding the Coca-Cola fizziness and flavor to the Oreo. And then they've got the the zero sugar Coca-Cola version, Oreo version that they're making, which has flavorful hints inspired by Oreo cookies. So you'll be able to get these, Doug. I know you'll be running out to get these in grocery and convenience stores starting in September. And a frozen version of the CocaCola Oreo. They're going another step here. You can get at McDonald's and 7-Eleven in select markets. Are you excited about this?
So I'm pulling it up here. It's a Oreo with with one of the cookies is Coca-Cola flavored. Is that what I'm gathering?
No, one of them is red and embossed with the Coca-Cola logo. The other half of the cookie, the other base cake, is like basically Oreo, but it has Coca-Cola syrup in it. So it's still black or brown or whatever color Oreo is, but it has Coca-Cola syrup now.
But it's supposed to taste like Coca-Cola. You get hints of Coca-Cola.
Yes, definitely. And you get fizzy pops from the things that are in the cream.
Oh, fizzy pops.
Yeah.
Like Pop Rocks?
Like a Pop Rock experience, I'm sure.
I mean, that kind of sounds unique.
It does sound unique. But I mean, can't we just eat the Oreos and then drink the Coca-Cola and kind of get very similar experience? I think everyone's done that in their lives. Did that plenty when I was a kid. You eat Oreos, drink Coke together.
Yeah. I mean, this is the kind of thing that I could see, like, if there was one out at a party, I would have one just to experience.
Yeah, of course. You try.
Assuming it's vegan, but yeah, there's no way I'm gonna go buy this, especially the like. So you're supposed to pair it with the actual Coke bottle?
Well, they don't say that it's meant to be paired, but they're making two collaborative products. One the cookie, one the drink, and they're both Oreo and Coke.
That's funny.
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, I'm very curious to try one of these, but like, if I were going to go buy Oreos, which I never really do, but if we ever get like a 4-pack or whatever, they're always delicious.
Oh yeah.
If I was going to buy a bag, like Oreos are just so good as they are, why would you buy this like ruined version?
And all the the different versions of Oreo. I mean, classic is just the best by far.
Better than double stuff?
Yeah, it's too stuffed.
It is too stuffed. They need a 1.5 stuffed. I've always thought that. They need a little middle ground.
You know what's trash is the thin or whatever, the like minimal stuff. That's trash.
I don't think I've ever had that one.
Yeah.
What about Halloween and Christmas? You like those colored ones?
Nope. And the mint ones, not a fan of that. The chocolate ones, not a fan of that. I think you just gotta go classic. And I will say we buy Oreos. I mean, not very often, but a couple times a year, probably buy a pack of Oreos usually for like a party or something like that.
Right.
And I enjoy it. I very much enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean they're great.
Garuda says they're only good with ice cream. They are good with ice cream. He's not wrong about that. I wouldn't say they're only good with ice cream, but Britter says that every race I do, aid station Oreos and a cup of Coke. Yeah. That's the best. Absolutely. I've had that many times.
Now you don't need it. Now you don't need that. You can just have one Oreo that tastes like the Coke and then drink some water with it or something. And life is simpler now. Or have both that. Now you have the Oreo Coke and the Oreo cookie. Perfect.
D1 to know says that the thin ones are great. I can't disagree more.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen them. I don't. Is the cookie part thin too, or just the cream is even less?
I don't remember. I think everything is thin.
Interesting.
Britter says there's a cider donut Oreo. That sounds pretty good. I love cider donuts. They're hard to get vegan.
Cider donut. I've never heard of that.
Oh yeah, they're so good. Like apple cider donut, very very good. But it's hard to find them vegan.
Speaking of junk food, I had a sip of Cheerwine the other day. I think it might have been my first ever.
Really?
Once I had a Cheerwine beer and it wasn't very good, but yeah, Holden wanted to get one and I tasted it and it was pretty good. It tastes like cherry Coke, but it was good.
Mm-hmm. What did he think?
It has like red 40 food coloring in it, plus caramel color, also bad. So
it had red 40 in it?
Has red 40, yeah.
I didn't know that they still use that, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So there you go. There's your news. Yeah. I'm thinking now, if I passed this in the grocery store, the Oreo and Coca-Cola things, am I grabbing that to bring it home and say, look, kids, Oreo and Coca-Cola all in one?
No, you're not. There's no way. I mean, Oreos, you like you have a pack of Oreos in the house, you get them past it, and you're gonna think, oh yeah, I'll take one of those. Or after dinner, you might have two, something like that.
Right.
These like specialty ones that are pop rocking in your mouth. There's no way you're gonna have more
No,
than one of those, and
you just
the
want to
rest
try
of the pack
one.
is gonna be trash.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, moving on. Let's go to the articles. This one will be quick with, and then we'll get to our main discussion. This one is PETA has put out their list of most vegan friendly MLB ballparks of 2024. I'm pretty sure we've done this every year of the show that they put it out. Now, we don't talk too much about the copywriting and general writing on the show. Like we used to talk about headlines a lot and things like that. I think PETA needs a new content person, or maybe they're using AI here. No, they're not using AI because they had to put in all the information. But you got to put a number. There's 10 of these things. You have to put 10 in the headline if you have 10 parks. And then they don't number the things. They don't say which one is number one. There's no countdown. There's no drama. So there's no arguing over which one deserves to be above other ones. And, radio DJs giving their take. It's just a list. It's boring.
Also, catch compassion is not a good start to it.
No, that's a dumb pun. Puns generally don't work in headlines unless it's like I'm in the right spot, maybe, but they're not the way to get the most clicks. Catch compassion. Okay.
Love you.
Anyway, they do give a nice second line of the thing. These parks are, and then italics. They show you. They pointed out are italicized, going to bat for their compassionate visitors by offering everything from fan favorite. So just in case you didn't catch that, they put a little pun in there. They italicized it for you. Kind of see what we did there. we said they're going to bat.
I'm gonna argue that they're not, and we can run through this, and then I'll tell you why this is just a very disappointing list to me.
Okay, we'll do that. They do put a paragraph in here about every animal being someone, not something, not ours to use as we wish, which is interesting. I guess they expected this will get some kind of radio or mainstream people just find it and want to talk about the list, and then you get a little message in there about this, which is fine. That's good. I mean, it's well done, I guess. All right. So yeah, I don't know how, like, we're not going to read every thing, but number one is Coors Field, Colorado Rockies. I think that's kind of always been up there near the top. They've got Better Off Burgers, which is just one stand that has the vegan offerings. Yeah, and then talk about the virtues of cows, which is strange to do that here, but fine. They tell you what sections these things are in too. City Field from the Mets. They've got mushroom tacos, vegan city nachos with jackfruit chili. That sounds pretty good. Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, vegan Philly cheesesteaks. Yeah, I'd be excited about that. The local thing done vegan. That I'm into. Buffalo Ranch chicken hoagie. You can get there. Hero pita sandwich. That's good. Like, that sounds like a pretty good offerings. So anyway, we can keep going. Truist Park is notable because they've got a slutty vegan location that's in Atlanta. Truist Park. You can get a meat-free cheesesteak, a vegan brat with sauerkraut and slut sauce. Love that. On a pretzel bun, and chicken tenders with a bed of seasoned slutty fries. So a lot of slut stuff going on over there. Yankee Stadium, that makes two in New York. Texas Rangers, Globe Life Field. Oracle Park from San Francisco Giants has some field roast stuff. T-Mobile Park of Seattle, I think they're new to the list. A mushroom bun from Din Tai Fung. Interesting. I thought there was Oatly somewhere, but I haven't seen Oatly's name yet.
Lots of vegan nachos. You can get nachos at, let's see, Texas Rangers, San Francisco Giants.
Hey, speaking of vegan nachos, it's a totally random thing. At Whole Foods, at least locally to us and in Nashville, there's a company called Credo, Credo, that makes a cashew, like, queso kind of thing. That stuff in the microwave is so good with chips. It just tastes like, regular old nacho cheese. It's really good.
Where do you get it?
Whole Foods.
Like what section?
I don't know. I haven't gotten it, but two people have gotten it, and I've had some. Credo. All right. So what do you think, Doug? Why are these not compassionate to you? Why are they not going to bat?
These ballparks are not going to bat because there's one spot at each of these that maybe a couple, but there's like that one spot that's having the vegan options, in some cases it's a whole vegan place like Slutty Vegan at in Atlanta. But I'm waiting for that stadium, which SoFi Stadium, where I went to see the Bills play who was it? Rams. In LA. They had Impossible Burgers or Impossible Sausages, I think it was, at every all their general stands, and that's going to bat. If you can you can get a brat or a burger or something at all your general just run of the mill locations. I think that's going to bat, and I would say that these places are not for that very reason.
Yeah, that's always your complaint when we talk about stadium foods. When they make an effort, no matter how good the kiosk or stand they have, you want it right there at the place, so you don't have to walk a little more to go get the.
Exactly. I'm there for the game. I'm not there to stand in line at the one.
And that's a good point. It is kind of, I've done this before, where you go seek out the place, and it takes you a long time to get to it, and then you miss more of the game.
Exactly.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem that practical. I don't know. I don't think of the ballpark audience as typically very interested in vegan food, so it's hard to imagine that happening. But you said it happened at that one place in LA.
I mean, it's LA, so maybe there's a high percentage of vegans there, but yeah. Kate says Oracle Park in San Francisco has several locations of with Impossible and other vegan stuff. So there you go. That's good. Yeah. Britters agrees with me. One kind of or side quest here with the stadiums. So not side quest, side tangent. That's the word I'm looking for. I just was reading an article or listened to something about how Mercedes-Benz, Atlanta Falcons, and home of the Atlanta United, they have the cheapest concessions in all of the NFL, with $5 beers, $2 hot dogs, and $7 you can get a hot dog and beer. Oh wait, I guess 5 and 2. But
that's a great price. I mean, that's unbelievably good.
I know. I mean, that's good anywhere, right? I mean, if you were, I mean, really anywhere, but especially at a stadium.
Yeah, really good.
And burgers, I think, are $4. So they're following according to what I saw, they were following the model of the Masters with the $1.50 pimento cheese sandwiches we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Okay, I didn't know those things were $1.50.
And how the idea is that you get people talking about it and talking about the concessions, how great it is to go there, and you can feed your family for $20. And
that really is a good thing. And then they make the money by just having more people come to the games, then, right? Buy tickets.
Yeah, more people come to the games, buy other stuff because they're not spending it all on food.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice if the whole world was that way. If people did not view that as an opportunity to just take advantage of captive audience, and that would be good.
But your home, the Baltimore Ravens home, M&T Bank Stadium. According to this article, beers is only $7 and hot dogs are $3.25. So they're doing pretty good too.
Yeah, $7's still pretty cheap for beer. Good. All right. I noticed, by the way, as you were talking there, Doug, that one of these Instagram posts from somebody I forget, about the Ranger Stadium, they actually said they used the cheese sauces from Credo Foods. So there you go. So they're made the big time. They're at the Rangers games at Globe Life Field. All right, I need to call out. PETA ends this article with one more section. What to do if your favorite ballpark left vegan options on base. Look at that. See, they already put a pun there. And then the section is only one line long. If you'd like the vegan menu at your team's stadium to be expanded, speak up and tell the concessionaires to play ball. So they added that section just to get those 2 puns in there, I think.
I like it. I like it.
Nice wrap up. So anyway, there you go. There's your PETA best baseball stadiums. And last up, we've got the headline, the big story. This is from vegeconomist.com. Coffee without beans, chocolate without cocoa. The company's making plants from cells and why we need them. So anyway, as we've already shown in this show, cultivated meat, big controversial thing. Obviously, people feel threatened by it, don't like this fake stuff. Other people view it as a huge potential win, which I tend to be in the latter. I'm still a little concerned about long-term safety. I'd like to see that proven before I get too much into it, but I do like the idea. Anyway, they're making a lot more stuff. We've talked about this on the show before with the technology of cell cultivation. And so we'll just quickly get into the handful of things they're talking about making here, and we'll talk about why, and then we'll wrap up. Number one, coffee. So they said viable land for cultivation is shrinking. That means higher prices decrease production. By 2050, the land suitable for coffee production will be even half of what it is now. And then there's also deforestation, increased water, pesticide use, and of course the human rights stuff. I don't know much about that, but there's the fair trade coffee and all that stuff. So I'm assuming they would want to. Well, actually, I don't know if this solves that because this maybe takes away the livelihood of
Takes away their jobs, right? Yeah.
So that's not necessarily a good thing. So that's coffee. I kind of think, Doug, that we said we didn't love this idea of drinking cultivated coffee. It just seems like you're missing the story, and that the whole terroir and this was grown by this person in this land in this way, and that's what makes the cup of coffee from it so special.
But what if like you're just run of the mill coffee you picked up at a gas station or McDonald's or something like that?
I think that's probably the much better use, and probably the one that they're talking about doing. Now, the assumption here is that eventually this gets to be cheaper than making coffee the other way.
Yeah.
And if all these things are true, right, that land production is getting so much so scarce, then eventually the coffee would get more expensive, and that this would then become a more viable option. Yeah, I actually would be fine with that. Like, I'm not when even Starbucks, like if I'm going there, as long as it tastes the same, I know what I'm doing. It's a big corporate thing.
Right.
That whole story is lost. I don't care about that. No matter how much Starbucks tries to tell that story, it's just a commodity. So in that case, I'm fine with it, and I think it's good. And I don't know about the implications for jobs and all that, but yeah, I'm okay with that part.
Yeah. I agree.
And I think that's going to be true of all these of cultivated meat too, right? Like, I don't think people are talking about generally replacing the gourmet, whatever aged, is it koji? I don't know, the beef thing, like all this like really fancy meat. I don't think people are talking about replacing that with cultivated versions. It's for the 98% of the meat that is used that is just in sort of commodity fashion. I think there will always be the small producer that is making really high-end special versions of all these things. So maybe the comparison really isn't about those versus this, but the commodity version.
I think that's right.
All right, next up, similar chocolate. A lot of deforestation happening because of cacao farming, and the farmland is also shrinking, available farmland. Cacao also susceptible to diseases and pests, so they're talking about replacing a bunch of chocolate. Yeah, I mean, to me, same story. Like, if you want a really special chocolate bar, and I know some people are really into that, they're not going to like this. But for the most part, it doesn't matter to me. I don't need my chocolate to be special.
What about your Oreos? You want the chocolate in your Oreos to be, cultivated or not?
I'm okay with cultivated chocolate as long as there's no Coca-Cola syrup in there. All right, moving on. Foods and spices like saffron and vanilla. They mentioned avocado as well. Oh no, avocado has significant challenges. I don't know if that one is one that is being replaced. I don't see it elsewhere. But yeah, I mean, like, each of these things is easy to say. I don't care, right? Like, I use saffron when I make paella or other Spanish things, and I like it. It's a great ingredient to use. I honestly don't care though if it's cultivated. Like, I just don't think it's going to affect the food that I'm eating very much. But like, as you start to say, yes, this is fine, I'm good with this. And then later, next we got cotton, forests, and more. Cotton farming consumes tons of water, 2,700 liters of water to produce a single T-shirt. That's crazy. How come we don't talk about that more when we talk about
no kidding,
how much a cow uses? And 16% of global insecticide use.
Is on cotton?
Ugh. Yeah, cotton is rotten. That's what they say.
Is that
yeah? So I don't know. Anyway,
is that right?
I think they say that in the running world, which you should know, Doug. Maybe the mainstream road runners would say that. Ultra runners, they wouldn't say that. But like,
I mean,
when they're trying to sell an expensive moisture wick shirt,
got it.
Cotton is rotten. You don't want that.
Cotton is king in ultra running. You just cut some holes in there and you're good to go.
Right. Different crowd. All right. So anyway, like, it's easy to say yes, these all sound good, right? Environmentally good things. But like, do we want to live in a world that's just making all of its stuff?
Right.
From, like,
that's the problem.
cells?
That's the problem. But don't you think that's exactly what meat eaters and meat farmers are saying? Like
Yeah,
several
definitely.
people,
They are.
Bitters, Brandon, Phyllis are like, what about the jobs? And I agree. What about the jobs? But the same could be said about meat, and we're certainly pro cultivated meat.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why the difference. I mean, there's a big ethical component to eating animals versus eating this other stuff. Because the animals thing still has all the same job implications, right? Like, what about
Right.
farmers and all this? Like,
Right.
that's all the same. There's also the ethical side to me, right?
Hmm.
There, like, all these things share the environmental benefit of the potential environmental benefit. The animal one is different. That has living, feeling creatures that get to be cut out of the system, which is a great thing. Um, so that would be my argument for why that one feels so different. But I do understand that if you're stepping back, viewing all of it, viewing cultivated meat as just another one of these things, and you think, I don't want a world that's a bunch of
Right.
artificial, maybe the wrong word, but lab grown is pretty accurate for most of this.
Hmm.
I want that story. I want my world to be the way it's always been. So yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. And I would argue that, there's the animal ethics of cultivating meat, but there's also the ethical side of saving the environment, saving the planet,
Mhm.
and so you could argue ethics for all of these as well, even though animals aren't necessarily involved.
Right. Right.
I don't
Yeah, I,
know.
I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, this parallels the whole AI thing, right? Like, if as technology begins to make humans replaceable in lots of things, including all this,
Hmm.
um, and we end up with something that is a different experience than working with humans or drinking coffee that's made by humans. You get stuff that's made by technology,
Yeah.
and then you figure out what are these people going to do. I mean, in theory, right? This all happens. Well, I shouldn't say in theory. I guess in one particular version of the world, this happens. This makes things get cheaper. People then need lower incomes in order to survive, and some sort of major systematic change happens, and not everyone needs to still keep working 40 or 50 or whatever hours a week. Um, who knows? But I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't want to say this is bad. Like, what are you gonna like? What, you can argue against technology and saying we should stop the process, stop the progress of technology? I mean, that's just crazy talk.
Yeah.
You can't. But I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Garuda says actually it is far worse for animals and humans growing crops, beans, and fruit than meat. I'm not sure if he means growing, meaning in labs. Worse to grow these things in labs than meat, or just in general agriculture, that those things are much worse. Yeah, I don't really know, but you got to keep in mind that when you are raising animals, you're also growing a whole lot of crops to feed them. So the crops argument is not usually a valid one in these environmental things. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, Doug. No conclusion drawn as to whether we should stop the wheels of progress or not.
I don't think we should. But I also think we should not give up on traditionally grown coffee or traditionally grown
Right.
cotton.
Right.
I mean, maybe cotton. I feel less strongly about cotton than I do about coffee, but
Well, I mean, the reality is states like Florida are going to step in and protect their interests, right,
right.
of other people. So all this is all going to come with opposition from different places. So it's not like just suddenly the whole world will become this. It will be a very, very long road to get there. So I
Mhm.
guess that's a good thing, right? We said we didn't like that Florida's doing this. In a way, it sort of feels like a healthy thing that there will be lots of opposition to this. The status quo, right, will be protected and preserved for a while. And that will allow this stuff to take time to happen, and eventually, if it's good for everybody, it'll happen.
Yeah.
And if it's not, it'll be snuffed out.
Yeah.
There's your conclusion.
Great. Well, have a great weekend, everybody.
Yes, you too, Doug. Enjoy your time with Michael and Rip and Carly.
Hmm.
Give them hellos from the Plant Based Morning Show audience.
I sure will.
We're all fans of them. Yeah, that's it. So have fun.
All right. You too, everybody. Thanks. And
All right.
we'll see you on Tuesday.
See you Tuesday. Bye, everybody.